What is up, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I am your hostess, doing the mostest, Kiowa, and we are here with Dark Wind Season 3, Episode 4, titled Chahalheel, which means Darkness Falls. And I just have one question, AMC. Just one. What the hell wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Okay, first off, listen, I know that this is based off a book that I don't know how suspenseful, scary, thriller it goes in the books, but if you don't change your time slot from 9 to 10 and give us more and give us gore, I'm gonna be mad. This episode, it's crazy. We've been having some jump scares and everything that's going on so far, but this episode took the supernatural, gory horror cake. I don't know. By the end of this episode, I was fed. My demon heart felt so good. So what are we talking about this week? So I'm super excited. And so with that, I'm going to try to just go based off of memory. So I don't have to be looking at my notes. Sometimes that happens, my memory will get me to say everything probably more than I wrote down. And then other times I'll be so excited that I just be missing shit. So we're going to see what today's episode brings. So boom. We open up this episode and Halsey, that's the name of the man who was running the drug farm or whatever, was trying to pass it off as the fake farm, killed everybody in it, and Leaphorn ended up finding Suzanne dang near dead, right? So we open it up. He's driving down the street in the red truck, getting it off the property because it is something that can trace back to him. And he goes to this stop, I think it was a gas station, and he's calling. Y'all, why he called Budge? Listen, I clocked this from episode 1. If not, I'm pretty sure I confirmed it in episode 2, where I was literally these cases are going to collide. There's no way that they're not going to intercept at some point, and boom, we have tied together so many things just off of this one phone call. So he calls him and he's like, listen, I took care of everybody. I took care of everything. Everything is lit up. They can't trace nothing back to you. They can't trace nothing back to Spencer. Everything is going to be good. Bud looked at his phone, put it back on his ear, and was like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. So, good luck, buddy. And went back to bed. And I'm just like, oh my God. Halsey? Yeah, bro, I don't think you're making it out of this episode, okay? So we end up with Chee calling Bernie. So boom, worlds are colliding. We are in another part of Arizona and we got things to do. So Chee is like, hey, do you know why your official Border Patrol photo would be found on a bulletin board along with a whole bunch of other people at a drug farm? And she's like, no, this ain't making no sense. And so he's like, okay, well, do you know anything about AGS, or do you know anything about Spencer? And she's like, yeah, Spencer Ranch. I've been following him, I'm thinking it's some things and stuff going on, but there's no reason that my face should be all the way over there, especially an official photo. So she's like, hey, listen up, we're gonna meet up because we need to connect these dots and we need to compare these notes. And you need to make sure that you 100% trust whoever it is in your workplace and whoever it is that you got your antennas up on. You need to pay attention. Don't be stupid, because she been real dumb in the last 3 episodes. But I'm gonna be there soon and we can figure some things out. So Bernie's like, bet. She goes to work, and her roommate / her partner at work, she ends up kind of inconspicuously getting her to go into this room. And she's like, yo, my official photo was found in some shit that got everything to do with drugs. And apparently the person who was running that farm works in some affiliation with Spencer. So she's like, you mean to tell me that man who put all this money into this is really running some type of drug thing? She's like, I don't know, but our boss is the only one who has access to these photos and they're locked. So you tell me, girl. And she's like, you gotta be shitting me. So she's like, okay, well, who else knows? And Bernie's like, I didn't tell anybody except you and the person who called me and the people who are investigating it. But other than that, nobody here knows that there's a connection outside of what we're doing here at Border Patrol. So she's like, okay, don't do nothing stupid. Don't say nothing to nobody until we can get something very concrete. Because if we're going after our chief, we cannot miss. So Bernie is like, all right, bet, cool. She ends up showing up and they're talking outside of the station, but it was right before she needed to go to her shift over at the way station. Now, something that I thought was really peculiar about this scene is her roommate was looking outside of the window at them. Now, one might think like, okay, well, maybe she's looking out to just kind of see the nature of their relationship because she knows that Munoz has a crush on Bernie. But my spidey senses is telling me she knows more about what Mr. Tom Spencer is doing over at Spencer Ranch, and I do not trust her. And at this juncture on episode 4, I really feel like Bernie told the enemy what was going on. So they get over to the way station and, she's just doing her job regular, but this gives her and Chee an opportunity to just speak away from where she works and speak away from anybody that she feels that she cannot trust. So Chee is like, why were you following him in the first place? Like, what put him on your radar? And she admits she was doing some dumb shit and was just like, listen, like, it wasn't nothing too crazy, but, I just thought that he was trafficking people. And she was like, I don't disagree with you on the trafficking side, but what if it was drugs? And so they're kind of like putting the puzzle pieces together, and it's looking like they may be using like some of the trucks or every other shipment, depending on what's going on and what system they could be running, to hide drugs underneath like the barrels of oil in the tanks. And when they started looking up the map and everything about like where they could be having like an exchange point, especially bordering between Mexico, why was it right across from the drug ranch that Halsey basically essentially killed everybody and burned down, right? So the connection to the land and everything is lining up because Spencer also owns a piece of that land that's also across the street from that farm. So they're like, okay, we need to see what we could do about getting this information to people on a need-to-know basis and assemble a small team. So they're going out to this little bar area that she frequents. It seems probably like the only bar, like, what do you call it? Like bar house in town. And while they're discussing it, Munoz was there with some homies, and so he sees Bernie. So he comes over, he's like, oh, hey, what's up? And he sees Chee sitting there, and he's like, oh, what's up? My name's Munoz, nice to meet you, whatever. And he's like, my name is Chee. Cool. And he turns to Bernie, and he was like, okay, girl, I don't want to ruin your night, but I'm gonna see you later. And she's just sitting there smiling with this stupid ass grin on her face in front of Chee, y'all. And my heart is yearning for your love. And it's written all over your face. And yeah, Chee is like, I'm gonna go holla at you when I get back. And she's like, sir, you've been here all day. I'm not about to let you get back on the road for 8 hours. Like, it's cool. And he's like, listen, I don't want to ruin the rest of your night. Clearly you got plans. And she's like, listen, you can stay on my couch. It is what it is. Leave in the morning. Let's be well rested. This is a bad idea. And after Chee is laying on that couch with his shirt off, tossing and turning while Bernie is in the other room, he realizes too it's also a bad idea. So he packs up his bags, he gets his clothes back on, and he goes in there and he talks to Bernie. And he was like, I don't know what you're running from, and I hope it's not us, but baby, please come back home. I miss you. I want to be with you. This thing between us, our love, It does not get denied. Thank you, Deana Kiner, for giving us amazing monologues in episode 4 of The Ones Who Live. But yeah, that's basically what he's saying. Like, he's in the bed. He's like, I want you back. And Bernie, I'm never going to, I'm never going to be upset at a woman recognizing when something is over or that something won't work in the long run. Like, to me, normalize ending relationships before there's resentment, anger, and you're turning the other person into a villain in your life's story. Normalize just, I know we have some chemistry, but you're going in one direction, I'm going in the other direction, and it's just not gonna work. Wholly agree with that. In this situation, Bernie tells him, like, we tried, but that ship has sailed. I've moved on, and I think you should move on too. And Chee is like, I don't believe you. And I'm sitting there like, I don't believe you either, girl, because when you had called him the other day, you was all longing and shit on the phone and lingering and everything like that. And you were clearly affected by just a regular conversation that lasted less than 3 minutes. Then you're entertaining somebody whose likeness is similar to Chee. Is it a type, or are you seeking him in other people? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a fear going on with your own feelings and how you truly feel about Chee? That's kind of the side that I'm leaning on, but I also support her, getting over one man and getting underneath another. I support you, girl. Do what you need to do to protect yourself, okay? Now, meanwhile, back at the Leaphorn Ranch, okay? Halsey thought that he had everything covered, but Suzanne survived, y'all. Suzanne survived, and Leaphorn went to the hospital to go and see her, and he's like, tell me what you know. So at this point, Suzanne is pretty much insinuating in every way, shape, or form, instead of outright saying, all but outright saying that Halsey killed Ernesto. But she's really in there like, I knew in my bones, like, he had something to do with Ernesto. Ernesto and George, they were so nice. Like, he didn't deserve any of this. I felt like something was going on, but I was just too scared to investigate, and I looked the other way. Maybe if I had tried to figure out what was going on, none of this would have happened. And Leaphorn is just assuring her, like, it's, bless me, it's all good. Like, you are young and you were being taken advantage of, much like everybody else that's there. I just need your help to tell me where you think he might go. So Suzanne gives him information about this motel that they would go to when they were traveling in and out of the city. So by this time, Halsey has burned the truck. He's gotten rid of all things, and he thinks Suzanne is dead. Leaphorn pulls up and he sees the sedan outside, and he sees that red dirt, it's like a clay dirt, in the car, but he's looking around. He doesn't do anything. Halsey's looking out of the window and he's like, okay, cool. He can't see me. He don't know what room I'm in. He don't really have anything to even ask to even come inside or whatever. So it is what it is. So Leaphorn ends up leaving, and Halsey takes this as his point to be able to leave as well. So as he in the middle of scurrying on out of there, Leaphorn was just parked up the road, baby. T-boned him and brought his ass to jail, okay? To jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. And guess what? Ain't nobody coming to save you, Craig. Ain't nobody coming to save you. They got him in the interrogation room, and the walls are closing in on it. And the truth of it all, Spencer don't care about you. And I'm pretty sure at this moment, Halsey is reflecting on that phone call that he made to Budge that morning, where Budge was just like, do whatever you need to do because this has nothing to do with me. So you already know that their money, their influence, and their power is going to make you a target. That's either the target to take the fall for everything or the target to disappear, if you know what I'm saying. So Halsey's like, okay, bet. I'll tell you everything. And it's pretty sadistic. If you can get me immunity on the drug stuff. Joe don't really want to take it. But Gordo's like, hold on, friend. We have bigger fish to fry, and you have to get the personal out of this. Like, yes, you knew Ernesto, you knew all these other things, but like, sir, it is clouding your judgment, and this is looking like it's bigger than anything that we've ever expected, especially since finding one of your former detectives' new agent picture at their drug ring. Like, let's be smart. So, with all of this, what's also on Leaphorn's mind is the fact that that morning, Agent Washington had 2 people lined up for questioning because they knew some things about where BJ Vines was found. So she has Leaphorn doing the translations for one of the Navajo men who does not speak English. He understands English, but he don't speak English. And she's looking at Leaphorn like, are you actually going to ask him the questions that I'm asking? And are you going to actually tell me the truth about what he's saying? I honestly thought he would lie. And I honestly was screaming at the TV, Joe, girl, lie. But there are certain words that aren't translated in the Navajo language. So she at least picked up that he was asking questions about a vehicle. Did you see a license plate? Do you know the make and model? And so some of the answer that was coming out was in the line of questioning of the things that she was carefully eyeing Joe about. Well, turns out this man saw a little bit more than Leaphorn was expecting, because they did see, he pointed the spot on the map where BJ Vine's body was found. That's where he saw a vehicle, a GMC to be exact. But he didn't see a license plate and he didn't see anybody's face. So Washington, she's like, I wonder how many GMCs are registered in the state of Arizona. And Joe's like, I mean, that's a needle in a haystack, probably a lot. And she was like, well, I already have the haystack. It won't take me much longer to find the needle. So Leaphorn tells this to Gordo, and Gordo was like, bruh, it's impossible for you to get caught because you were not there. Chill the fuck out and let's go home. Like, relax. So they're getting ready to leave, and just when Joe was getting ready to pull off, Washington was like, hi, friend. 3,404. And he's like, what? She's like, yeah, that's the number of GMCs registered in the entire state. And then this is how many are registered in this county. 40 something of those driven by people on this nation, and only one of them driven by the person whose son was murdered by BJ Vines. Is my math mapping? Are my thoughts thought-worthy? So, Joe, if that's your real name, where were you the night of BJ Vines' disappearance? And he was like, at La Casa, girl. And she's like, so if I ask Emma, she's gonna say that you were at home with her. And they in this stare down, and Washington's like, okay, thank you. You are so kind. So at this point, Leaphorn, like, he just is thrown off. And he goes back home. Mind you, Emma is not even talking to him at all. But he goes back home, and she's sitting there, and she's like, sit. You're going to tell me everything. And now at this point, I feel like you ain't got nothing to lose, especially because you just lied to a federal agent. The best thing you could do is tell your wife everything and hope that her receiving this, even though it may hurt, will help her corroborate your story and keep you out of jail. So he tells her everything that went down, and she's still heartbroken. Like, she's not really seeing why he did it, and it's not, his reasons aren't really absolving him of anything, not in her eyes and not in the eyes of culture. Because while he did not pull the trigger, he still left that man there knowing what the ravine in the desert would do to him after a while. And Emma says that much. It wasn't the desert, it was you. And I'm not sure that I can even get over this. And before she leaves the room, he tells her, hey, so I tell Agent Washington that I was with you, so if she asks. And Emma just leaves, just disappointed. And I am so heartbroken because I love their relationship so much. Like, I love their relationship so much. And so it just pains me to see them on the outs again, much like they were on the outs in season 1, about children, about this wound that is between them. And it really has me wondering, will they be able to survive? Like, will their marriage be able to survive the loss of their son? And I'm not sure, because Emma seems like she's on the path of acceptance and moving on, in spite of the fact that she was unlawfully, what's the word? They performed an unlawful procedure so that she could never have kids again. And Emma loves kids, but she's trying to move on. And Joe cannot let go at all. And now, in his own rage and in his own vengeance, he's invited a spirit into their home that is not letting him go. And because it won't let him go, it's also affecting Emma too. So I don't know, man. I don't know if by episode 8 they would even still be living in the same house together. I don't know that it'll be divorced, but I just don't know that they will be a team anymore. And neither does Joe. So he goes back to his comfort place, which is work, and he relieves the on-duty officer that was just in charge of looking out for any of the criminals that are held in jail overnight. Cool, they need some supervision. It's a small little police station or whatever. So Joe is there, the lights flickering, doing whatever, when they all go out. So Halsey's like, what's going on? And he's like, I'm gonna go check the fuse box. Like, you just chill, be quiet, whatever. I'll take care of whatever needs when I get back. So he goes out and he's checking the fuse box, and the wind is howling. Okay, now I love me a good howling wind. Honestly, howling winds put me to sleep. It's like, other people be scared and the windows and stuff be rattling and all the whistling noises, and I'd be like, yes, getting the best sleep. Because the sounds, I dream very vividly, and like, I be having some dreams, y'all. And so I just love how like nature infiltrates my dreams, and then next thing you know, like, I'm in space, like shooting aliens, and or I'm like on battleships, or like I'm an FBI agent or something like that. I be having all sorts of stuff in my head. Well, Joe doesn't think this is cute, funny, nor calming, because in these howling winds, he hears an ominous whistle blowing. So you already know he turning around. He like, what the hell is going on? Like, am I finna see that thing that I saw up in the barn? Well, he doesn't see the Dementor, but he hears a blood-curdling scream coming from inside of the jailhouse. Goes inside, and he goes to the cell. Halsey is still inside of the cell, but there is blood pouring out of his face from either a yoked out jaw and for sure a slit throat. But there was so much blood pouring from his mouth and down the chin area that it really looked like his jaw was also like ripped or cut or sawed off. So Joe is like trying to desperately get inside to just kind of see, like, what is it? Can you put pressure on the neck wound? People have survived near decapitations on getting their throat slit. And as he's doing this, the lights randomly come back on, and Halsey bleeds out on the floor in front of him. Y'all, Dark wins. Ain't have no business. You ain't have no business. Ah, it's getting good. So there's that, kids. Ladies and gents, what do we think of this episode? We are halfway through the season, 1 month down, 1 month to go, and things are getting crazy. What did Francine Smith say on what's the name of that dang on show? The American, so it's Family Guy, American Dad. I have to say the names. What did she say? Things are getting too spicy for the pepper. That's where we are with this episode. And I kind of already gave my thoughts on things. I feel like we can comfortably say that Tom Spencer is aware of what's going on his ranch. You don't get that rich and powerful by not doing anything, and you damn sure ain't that powerful and don't know that illegal activity is happening underneath your room. So we can already say, boom, they're guilty. It is what it is. All of the cases collide, which means that we're going to get a lot more traveling between the teams back and forth. But what does this case look like now that Agent Washington is down Leaphorn's throat? Now remember, in episode 1, the opening, Leaphorn was out somewhere injured, and this Dementor looked like it was getting ready to capture him. So we have no idea when that is going to occur and where that actually is. Is he going to try to cover up his tracks? Is he going to try to go make sure that he didn't miss anything from the whole situation, make sure there's no evidence going back to him? Or is this involving him helping Bernie, and maybe the group got split up and they're being hunted by more than just whatever is spiritually hunting him? No clue. But I am so excited. Those are my thoughts. And I'm also happy that Bernie didn't do nothing stupid this episode. Like, oh, Manuelito girl, you were getting on my nerves. Yeah, the only dumb thing, which it's not really her fault, is just her telling her roommate / her work partner that she thinks that it's the boss. I think that this girl knows more than she's telling. And I think she's going to start tailing Bernie, or at least sticking close to her on all the information that she gathers, so that she can report this not only back to the chief, but also to Tom Spencer. And with that, we're going to wrap up this episode. As always, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave comments in the comments box below if you want to just listen to the audio version, or your friends and family only want to listen to the audio version. Go ahead and follow me on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can also find me on Instagram at So There's That Podcast, where I post shorts, reels, and just information about other TV shows and other information, news, and updates in Hollywood, filmmaking, and entertainment. And you can also find me on TikTok, where I post short form content, reviews, and recaps of different shows that I do not cover on my podcast at Chee. And then, of course, on Twitter, y'all already know that's the OG space at Chee. And with that, I'm going to catch y'all in the next episode.